There is something we don't speak about very often in the legal profession, and yet it could change how we sustain ourselves in this industry. It's called reflective supervision. And if you're not entirely sure what it is, that's perfectly understandable. It's still relatively unfamiliar in the legal world. And even where it is known, you'll often hear, "It's not for me, because I'm experienced, or I work independently, I don't do litigation, and I manage things very well, thank you." There is perhaps an unspoken expectation in our profession that we remain composed, controlled, and largely self-sufficient. But what we don't often say is what that requires from us over time. Hello, I'm Sarah Jane, family lawyer, family mediator, and lawyer supervisor. And I would like to offer a slightly different way of thinking about supervision. Not as something reserved for difficult times, but as a space that is in reality relevant to all lawyers. Supervision is not about advice, training, or performance coaching. It is a confidential, reflective space where you step back and consider your practice. A space to think about what you encounter in your work, because practicing law is not only about legal analysis. It also involves managing relationships, navigating tensions, making difficult judgments, and at all times carrying a degree of emotional weight. For that reason, supervision is not limited to a particular type of lawyer. It is relevant regardless of age, level of experience within a firm, and as Gillian Bishop has put it very simply, to all lawyers at every stage of their. In many ways, it's even more powerful when it begins with senior lawyers, is beneficial to all lawyers. Not because everyone faces the same challenges, but because each role brings its own demands, and each of us brings our own way of dealing with them or experiencing them. A litigator may deal with confrontations and the pressure of hearings. A transactional lawyer may carry high decisions and client expectations. A junior lawyer might be finding their place. A partner may carry responsibility alone, with often limited space to reflect. An independent practitioner may absorb everything without much opportunity to step back. Sometimes you have to deal with everything at the same time. The context differs. The need for reflection does not. It does not serve a single purpose. For some, it may be about managing the emotional impact of certain cases. For it will be more about navigating client expectations or organizational pressures, and for others, it might be about reducing isolation or reflecting on their role and approach. The value remains. What's less visible in the legal cumulative effect of sustained pressure, complex decision, ongoing responsibility. Even when everything appears to be going well, even when you're capable, even when you are experienced, it's not about weakness, it's about recognizing the reality of the role. In that sense, supervision is best understood as a prevention. It's not something to turn to when things go wrong, but something that helps you perspective, practice with, and sustain yourself over time. So perhaps supervision is not something for some lawyers, but rather a thoughtful response to the demands of the profession itself. And the question may not be but rather, support do I have in place to reflect on and sustain my supervision is something you are encountering for the first time, then perhaps this is simply an invitation to reflect. Thank you for listening.